Hi, I'm Gina Fontaine, and welcome to video 2 of Feel Like a Supermom During Challenging Times. I am Gina Fontaine, and I am the author of You Are a Supermom, 5 Ways to Reclaim Your Superpower and Thrive. This book was recently released and is available on Amazon and Barnes & Noble. So welcome to video 2, and I just want to begin by saying if you did not get a chance to watch video number 1, pause and go back to video 1 and watch that first, just so each video builds upon the next, so that this will make sense. I just think it helps to have a logical flow. And I will be sharing my screen. I also want to just say that I know being a mom is very challenging, especially in these times. And just a disclaimer up front, I am not a psychotherapist. I am not qualified to help you with serious anxiety and emotional disorders. So any advice that I give you is for you, to use for yourself, but please make that distinction if you need professional help. That is not my area of expertise. I am speaking to you as a mother of 3 children who has been through some very challenging times. So let's get started. And I see 2 of you are here. And please be sure to type in the comments that you're here. And I will come back and I will answer questions that you offer during the class. And if you're here watching the replay, please would you just write that you're watching the replay, #replay. And I hope, if you have any questions from yesterday, I would love to field those questions as well. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen right now and get right into it. So I hope you're having a wonderful day. Fall here in Colorado right now is absolutely wonderful. So let's get started. We are on day 2 of this Masterclass series. Oops, let me go back here a moment. And our topic today is the 3 steps to choose peace. So again, I'm Gina Fontaine. I am a wellness coach for moms. I am a mother myself of 3 children, and I am the founder of the Supermom Club, which you'll be hearing more about in our next call or our next video. And I am also the founder of this concept of reclaiming your superpower and thriving. That's the tagline of my my actual book. So how many of you feel like this? Like you're spinning a whole bunch of plates, and it's an impossible task to keep it all going. And yesterday you heard me make this suggestion that the key to feeling like a supermom is peace. Now, I know when you are in the midst of trying to keep all the plates spinning, it feels like you can never catch your breath. It feels like, how am I going to do that? That's a really beautiful and cute concept, Gina, but I don't even know where to begin to find peace. And I'm here to tell you that I have been there, and I know that the more you keep doing, the more burnt out you become. And so today I'm going to share what I am still, and I'm going to say this, I am still learning to embrace these 3 steps and fully integrate it into my life. And I have been working really consciously on this for about a little over 2 years. So this is definitely not quick fix material. Let's move on. So I want to first recap what we did on day 1. And basically we talked about the number 1 missing piece to you feeling like a supermom. Now, I also redefined supermom to not be the measure of how much you do, but how much you are yourself. And there's a big difference, okay? So when we're always out there doing and doing more to help us feel more calm and more peace, it's kind of like there's this irony going on that you're doing when being would be more powerful. And what exactly does that mean to be? We're gonna go more deep into that idea right now. But we I challenged you to see that the missing piece is peace. And so, if you're in the thick of it and your world just feels like constant chaos, constant crisis, if any of you have read my book, you already know that I have, as one reviewer said about my book, this mom has been through hell and back. And I have, and all through it, I thrived. So I know that this stuff works, but I also know that it takes time. So the promise I have for you is that by the end of this video, you will have a simple 3-step process to slow down. And that really is the key, the power of the pause. That's one of the subtitles in my book, is knowing when you feel revved up, when you feel anxious, that's not the time to do more. It's actually the time to step away. And I'll go through what those 3 parts are and how you can easily begin implementing them into your daily life. And there's going to be roadblocks, of course. On any time isn't it funny how when we start off on a venture and then all of a sudden we create this intention, I'm going to calm down, or I'm going to, cut down on the activities in my life. And then all of a sudden it's like everything blows up. At least this has been my experience, that all this stuff is thrown at you almost to, in a way, it seems like you're being tested. Like, oh, you want to be peaceful? Well, here, let's lay it on really thick and give you a bunch of roadblocks to see, how well you can implement these 3 steps. So I know one thing, and that is you can't change the people around you. So the triggers are still going to be there. The complaining children, the kids that roll their eyes at you, those are going to be there. And I also know from the perspective of being a mother, and I'm a single mom, life never slows down. So if you wait for that opportunity to slow down, it never comes. And I have actually, in my history, when things have been the most chaotic, that's when I hire coaches. That's when I take classes, because I have to have some kind of lifeline to give me support. And the anxiety through the roof piece, there is clinical anxiety. And as I said in the beginning, sometimes you do need to reach out for, a higher level of professional support. So please know that these steps and these tools are, I have been successful, but if it doesn't work for you over the long period of time, finding professional help is essential. So let's move into first a warning before we get into the meat and potatoes of today's session. And I've said it already, but this is not a quick fix. So I'm going to present to you 3 steps today, and it might be a year, it might be 2 years before you seamlessly start noticing, oh wow, I'm starting to use this. And when I was at the height of my stress, I would just celebrate a day, 1 day, or even a half a day where I didn't lose my temper or blow up at my kids. I was just constantly under stress. And so now I can look ahead 2.5 years later and see that, wow, I really am using this system. And that's real key. I pride myself in being a very spontaneous person. I love to have flow in my life. And if there's anybody that's going to resist structure or system, it's me. And you know what it does is it gives you a tool that you can just go to in those moments of heated panic or stress, that you can go, okay, here's the system, 1, 2, 3, and you don't even have to think about it. But as with any habit, it will take time. So give yourself grace to embrace what I'm teaching you today. All right. The 3 steps. So you've been sitting here waiting. Okay, what are the 3 steps? The key to reclaiming your superpower. And number 1, I really believe finding peace. But how do I do that when there's so much stress And even when I try to lay down and rest, somebody's knocking on the door and asking for my attention. And so I have 3 steps, starting with intention. And I'm sorry, I put those in backwards, and I'm going to have to go back and change that. But the first one is attention. And attention is putting your mind in your body and saying, oh my gosh, I feel exhausted, or I feel stressed, I feel anxious. So that's attention, and I apologize for that mistake. So that's number 1. So being very clear that number 1 is attention, and I'm going to write that in. But number 2 is intention. And don't you love that I'm demonstrating that I'm imperfect? So let's celebrate that Gina's imperfect, and she put her 3 steps in the wrong order, because being a perfectionist is such a barrier to peace. Isn't that the truth? So I'm going to put it on here in the correct order. I'm glad somebody liked that. And put that up for you so that it is in the correct order. So the next step, let me write this because I don't want to multitask, because we all know that that's a myth. We can't multitask. So here we go. There it is. All right. So we've brought attention to ourselves. So maybe the feeling that we have is, oh, I'm so anxious. All right. What would I rather have instead? What is my intention? Well, I'd like to feel calm. I'd like to feel joy. All right. Great. I claim, or I choose peace. I choose joy. And the solution for that in that moment, it could be a number of different things. It could be, I'm going to get up and step away from my computer. I'm going to go take a walk. I'm going to go in the bathroom, shut the door, and breathe for 5 minutes while my toddlers are safely playing outside the door. So the solution part, that's where, you know, I have lots and lots of tools in my box, but those are just an example of a few. Now, I want to share with you a story. So I do work with clients, and I have one-on-one clients, and not hide that out. This is Katrin, and she worked with me a couple of years ago, and she has 4 children. So understandably, she has a very full life. And she came to me because of basically she said her hip felt like it was falling out from underneath her. And just to give some background, she's a former triathlete, used to that very high intensity, gotta go, gotta do it hard type of system of exercise. And what I introduced to people is that you don't have to work hard to get results. Like, it's the no pain, no gain theory is out the door. So how does this relate to the steps? Well, the attention piece was that she had to cut back on all the activities that she really, really enjoyed, and pain was a limiting factor. So the attention was, for 10 years, I've been seeking a solution to get out of pain. And her intention was to feel vibrant, alive, and whole and complete in her body, because her body felt like she was disconnected from it. And so the solution that we applied was actually slowing down. And what she said was that the exercises I gave her were so much easier than she had expected. She was used to that, gym model of no pain, no gain. And she really was skeptical, didn't do them at first. Like, I'm not sure these breathing exercises are really going to benefit me. But in the end, she found that they really did. And I think a side benefit to her experience was also just learning to slow down amidst all the chaos of, having a full life with 4 children. So let's go through the process, and you might I encourage you to grab a piece of paper and go through your own process. And it might be right now, or maybe you can recall an event that happened recently where you felt something. So attention. And I encourage you to even put this in the comments if you feel comfortable sharing your experience. I feel blank. So a sign, when we label an emotion, doesn't have a grip on us anymore. So we say, I feel anxious. And where do you feel that? And really take the time to just slow down, separate yourself from the activity. Maybe it's in my heart, maybe it's in my gut. Where do you feel it? Maybe it's in your knees. And just allow yourself to feel that. Because one thing I've heard before about emotion, it's just energy. It's energy in motion. And so my intention then is, what is the outcome that you desire? I desire to feel calm. Now, in the moment, you might be saying, that is the furthest thing, but we're just choosing where to put the lens so that you can focus. So we're choosing to feel, I desire to feel, or I choose to feel healthy. I choose to feel joyous. And the solution is, I will blank to feel blank. And think about, if joy is the outcome, then I'm going to jump up and down and celebrate and put a big smile on my face to feel joy. Okay, so, and that's super simple. It didn't take more than a minute to go through that process. And that's really what I want you to understand, is that what I'm teaching you is simple, not necessarily easy, because we're awfully hard on ourselves, aren't we, moms? And that's why this is probably counter to anything that you've heard, the keys to your success, because often we hear, start with what's hard. Well, I find that if you start with what's easy, then you're more likely to go further with it, because 1 minute of exercise might turn into 5, that might turn into 30 minutes if you start with what's easy. And the other key is exercise self-compassion, because you're gonna falter. You're going to slide back into what I call monster mom mode when you're stressed out, burnt out. I was there for 2 years, and I never thought things were going to shift. I never thought it was going to change. And give yourself grace to know that change never happens just like that. It's simple, yes. Easy, well, we want to make it easy, but does it take time? Yes, indeed, it does. And it's a process, and that's why I love groups, because support where we can share our experience, strength, and hope is so helpful. And so this is another caption from my book, that peace flows like a river. And when you can get yourself into that place of peace and receive, and that's a whole other topic of women receiving instead of giving all the time, then things begin to flow. Opportunities come in that don't come in when you're in that state of panic and stress. That you showing up in your fullness creates the environment around you that you desire, because you went through and followed the 3 steps. And so consider for a moment that maybe it's a year or 2 years into the future, and you've decided, you know what? I am done with the busy lifestyle. I am done piling one thing after another onto my plate as a mother. What does my life begin to look like when I make peace with my life? What begins to change? And leave a comment below. I'd love to hear. I mean, I can tell you 2019, looking ahead to where I am now with a wonderful, loving partner, in a new home, that, my kids are finally listening to me. They don't necessarily always like the things that I say, but is peace there every day? No. But am I better able to handle conflict that comes up without flipping my lid? Yes. And I never, ever thought that was possible. Even 5 months ago, I was still like, you should see me on a tennis court. It's ridiculous. And one of my goals right now is to not scream and holler when I miss hits on the tennis court. And I've had like 4 months now without tennis because I injured myself. So I just want you to know that I don't have this mastered. And tomorrow I am going to share with you my full blueprint to reclaim your power and thrive. And I lay that blueprint out in my book with the 5 myths. And I am going to take you from the piece of self-care all the way to surrendering control. And at the foundation of all that is peace, because if you're not peaceful within yourself, you're probably not going to perceive yourself to be even worthy to receive the self-care. And so that's why we laid this foundation right here in day 1 and day 2. So be sure to be, I feel like tomorrow is the most important day to be on, if you can be on live, where I'm going through that entire blueprint. And I'm going to leave you with a little inspiration. This is a quote from the book, and this is one of my favorite places to go walking in Colorado, Harriman Lake. The power of the pause is stepping away from the frantic daily activity to discern whether your actions align with your deeper purpose in life. And that's a whole other topic for another series on just discovering your deeper purpose. But the message is, take time to pause today. Maybe even after this video, take a 10-minute nap, a power nap, and try to just be with the experience of how it is for you right now. Even if it's anxiety through the roof, even if it's anger, can you love yourself even in those moments when it's difficult? And believe me, I have been there, feeling like it was never, ever going to end. And it wasn't until I filled myself up with love that I began to find peace. So join me tomorrow. Tomorrow is day 3, back on at 2 p.m. Mountain Daylight Time on Facebook Live. And I am also streaming on YouTube. So I know everybody's not on Facebook, so you can go to my YouTube channel. It's just Gina Fontaine, and you can watch this video on YouTube as well. And I look forward to getting your comments. Feel free to email me or comment in the chat below. And I can't wait to hear about how you implemented the 3 steps and how you took feeling one way to another way. So have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will talk to you next time. Bye-bye.